There are moments in sports that make you pause and rethink everything you thought you knew. This was one of those moments. The Florida State-Alabama game wasn't just a football matchup. It was a statement, a loud, undeniable message about the state of Alabama football under Kalen DeBoer. And if you're an Alabama fan, it's probably not a message you wanted to hear. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this loss a reflection of poor coaching, bad preparation, or simply an off day for a team still finding its identity? Let's dive in. If we're being honest, Nick Saban set the stage for this showdown himself. During ESPN's Game Day broadcast, a show that also served as a heartfelt farewell to the legendary Lee Corso, Saban took a moment to call out Florida State. He didn't do it lightly either. His comments weren't just aimed at rallying his own team, but also at defending the sanctity of college football itself. You see, earlier in the summer, FSU quarterback Tommy Castellanos, yes, that Tommy Castellanos, had fired shots at Alabama, declaring that the tide couldn't stop him and that Saban couldn't save them. It was bold talk, the kind that fuels bulletin board material. And sure enough, Alabama players responded by vowing to address the disrespect. But did they? Not exactly. Instead, Florida State walked away with a decisive 31-17 victory, leaving fans and analysts alike scrambling to process what had just happened. As Saban himself put it during the Game Day segment, "I'm not here to save them. I'm here to save you all." Translation: don't underestimate the power of motivation or the danger of overconfidence. Yet, despite Saban's warnings and assurances that this season would be better than the last, Alabama fell flat on its face against a hungry Florida State squad. Now, let's unpack some numbers because they tell a story too. In just 14 games as head coach, Kalen DeBoer has already suffered 4 losses when favored by 14 points or more. Compare that to Nick Saban's tenure, where he only experienced 3 such losses in 139 games. Ouch. Those stats alone are enough to raise eyebrows, but when you factor in the talent on Alabama's roster, players who are routinely projected as first-round NFL draft picks, it becomes harder to dismiss this loss as a fluke. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about the result, it's about how it happened. Alabama looked weak and disorganized at critical moments. Take, for example, a pivotal 4th-and-1 play late in the fourth quarter. Former Bama running back Roydell Williams bulldozed through the heart of a defense, exposing glaring holes in the unit. 2 plays later, a needless personal foul penalty extended Florida State's drive. By the time Gavin Sawchuk dragged nearly the entire Alabama defense into the end zone for the final score, it was clear. This wasn't just a bad day. It was a systemic failure. So what does this mean for the bigger picture? For starters, maybe Mike Norvell deserves more credit than he's been given. After enduring a disastrous 2-10 season in 2023, many wrote him off entirely. But Saturday's performance suggests that Norvell may have turned a corner. With Gus Malzahn now serving as offensive coordinator, Florida State showcased an explosiveness and creativity that overwhelmed Alabama. Remember, Malzahn has a track record of success, having led programs like Auburn and UCF to prominence. Give him talented players, like a dual-threat quarterback who can run and throw, and watch him work magic. Speaking of quarterbacks, perhaps we need to pump the brakes on quick judgments. Ty Simpson, Alabama's starter, struggled mightily. Does that mean he's not the guy moving forward? Not necessarily. On the flip side, Tommy Castellanos delivered a standout performance, rushing for 78 yards and throwing for 152 more. But should we crown him a Heisman contender based on one game? Again, not so fast. These are lessons worth remembering as the season unfolds. What about the broader implications for Alabama? With tough opponents like Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee looming on the schedule, this early stumble could signal trouble ahead. One bad week doesn't doom a program, but repeated missteps can lead to larger questions about leadership and direction. Is Kalen DeBoer the right person to carry the torch after Saban? Or will his tenure mirror that of Brian Harsin, another outsider brought in to lead an SEC powerhouse only to flame out spectacularly? As we reflect on Week 1, it's important to remember that early season narratives often crumble by November. Still, there's no denying the significance of this upset. Whether it's a wake-up call for Alabama or the start of something special for Florida State remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, this game will spark plenty of debate. So, what do you think? Is DeBoer in over his head? Or is this just a bump in the road? Sound off in the comments. We'd love to hear your take.